In 1929, when teachers were paid in scrip, they flooded the streets of Chicago. With wages lower than car washers, New York City teachers negotiated the first modern collective bargaining agreement in 1962. In the following decades, teachers and paraprofessionals all across the country found their power by joining together as a union.
The image of selfless service was often used by society to turn teachers into a class of patsies. No more. If the drive for teachers to organize is for money and better working conditions, it is also for something ineffable, something called respect.
You did this! Feel your power!
Today, educators are continuing the fight. After years of disrespect and disinvestment, educators are standing up for the respect they deserve and the funding they need. Combining personal activism with the collective power of their union, AFT members are changing the education and political landscape across the country. In 2018, West Virginia educators sparked walkouts that spread across the country. Legislators continue to underestimate their resolve, trying to ram through anti-public education legislation during the summer break.
You can do it during the school year, you can do it during summer, you can do it on Christmas Day, and I have no doubt we'd have a strong showing.
We've told them time and time again, we need wraparound services. Drugs are a huge issue. Kids don't know where they're going to get their next meal.
Stay strong, stay united.
Continued pressure forced removing the worst elements of the bill. The Los Angeles teacher strike transfixed the nation. 80% of the public stood with the teachers against a superintendent more interested in privatization than funding schools.
It's so empowering. I mean, look at the way we've all come together for a greater good.
We don't even know each other, and we're in it. We're in it.
This is the best faculty meeting that I've ever been, and I've been teaching for 20 years.
We have unions united. We have school districts united. We have this state united.
Educators from across California built on that momentum and forced the California legislature to take on charter accountability legislation.
Today we're here to ask legislators, just like you're hearing in the background, what side are you on? Are you on the side that wants to privatize and starve our schools?
Unionized charter school teachers throughout the United States are also demanding accountability from intransigent administrators and charter school boards.
They're running it like a business, treating the teachers and the students like line items.
It's really been, a fight, and ultimately we're doing this for our kids.
Predatory, for-profit charter management companies like 10 Square operate in darkness.
I want to see a change in the charter landscape of this city, and that's not going to happen without activism.
Question is not whether, but how do we elevate teachers' voice and judgment to change the culture so that the teaching profession is marked by trust, respect, and the freedom to teach.
In the midst of a teacher retention and recruitment crisis, AFT is sounding the alarm and proposing solutions.
Build more teacher time into school schedules. Use this time to observe colleagues' lessons, to look at student work, and to plan collaboratively.
At locals across the country, educators are innovating and finding solutions through AFT's Teacher Leader program.
What's a problem that you see that affects you and your students every day that you think you have a solution for?
My personal topic in terms of improving student writing, if you don't have writing skills, it is difficult to have academic success.
I was emboldened by getting a glimpse inside the policy-making side of education, which seemed really untouchable to me before I was involved.
It really does help to engender that feeling of all fighting together. We're in this together.
Educator voice and innovation is not enough without proper funding. In the face of a decade of education cuts, Fund Our Future has become a rallying cry at state capitals across the nation.
Fund our future! 1, 2, 3, 4, funding's what we're fighting for!
We need to make sure that lawmakers know that our students are the bedrock. Our neighborhood public schools are still there creating that magic each and every day. That's what Fund Our Future means.
Funding!
It was also a great opportunity for people all over the state to come together as we are marching and rallying and about to take in direct action, taking it to the State House. So it's a great day. You see this energy out here? It's great.
Whose house is this?
I mean, it's amazing to stand here with our fellow educators and say enough is enough. To walk the mile up the street to the Capitol and stand in front of our legislatures.
Does anyone else out there feel undervalued?
Being here today means that I'm representing future generations. I'm standing here with my children, and I'm thinking about my children's children.
34 schools would absorb funding losses of $200,000 or more. Nearly 2/3 of those schools where enrollment is overwhelmingly students of color.
We are here lobbying to ask for additional funding for our children.
Having more counselor social workers, advocating for community schools, we're advocating for millionaires to pay their fair share.
With a shared goal of investing $170 million toward fixing the most dangerous conditions in our school buildings.
At my school, every classroom has mice, but not necessarily heat.
If my classroom is cold, somebody else's classroom is cold. And as a tenured teacher and a member of the union, I'm going to speak up.
I present to you Senator Kamala Harris, candidate for President of the United States of America.
Politicians are taking notice of the power of teacher activism. Seeing that the path to the White House runs through educators, Democratic candidates are engaging members in AFT Votes town halls.
How can you ensure states will follow that and not put it in private and charter schools?
It's important to get your voice out there. These elected officials do not know what it's like to be in a classroom.
What are you going to do about protecting teachers in the classroom? What are you going to do about protecting us as union members?
Be able to bring someone here who can talk to us, listen to our concerns, and try to address our issues. That makes me feel really good to see that my union is really working for me.
It helps to bring in the young members and really kind of see that the political process is, it's for everybody in the union and everybody needs to be connected to it.
Democracy is in crisis. You are the defenders of democracy.
At this moment in America, educators must do as they have done throughout history. Stand at the front line to protect democracy, decency, and justice. Fighting bigotry, whether it be racially motivated police shootings, discrimination of LGBTQ individuals, the rise of white nationalism, or demagoguery of immigrants.
In a supposedly just and free America, migrant children are crying as they are growing up in detention, far from their families' arms.
As teachers, I think that it's very important that we have a voice for those children.
In the upcoming election, there is so much at stake, and yet an extraordinary opportunity to change America for the better.
You have to have power, and you have to have the investment.
The path to a just society begins with educators having the resources and respect necessary to provide every child with a quality public education.